How do you actually use this new code interpreter from ChatGPT? All right, give me about 5 minutes and I'm going to tell you, hopefully, just about everything that you need to know. Before we get started, you might be wondering, who am I? What is this? So, my name is Jordan Wilson. I am the host of Everyday AI. So, we are a daily live stream, podcast, newsletter, and tutorial base to help everyday people like you and me actually understand and use AI. So, let's use this new AI. So, real quick, we're going to talk about this. So it's not new, but ChatGPT or OpenAI, I should say, just finally gave everyone access to Code Interpreter within the last week. So, I had been on the waiting list for forever, just got access. So there's actually so many things that Code Interpreter can do that in general, ChatGPT couldn't do previously. And one of the things is people don't know what. So it's obviously great at analyzing data, visualizing data, and coding, right? But that's not all. There's so many different things you can do. So, just as a quick example, what I'm doing here is this is Google Analytics test data. So, anyone can access this. So, I just grabbed a bunch of data, exported it as a spreadsheet, and I'm entering it into the code interpreter. And kind of why the reason I'm doing that is because one of the best things that you can do with code interpreter is to say, hey, what can I use this for? So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just going to put in a prompt. I have it saved here just to save a little bit of time. So this is I'm saying this is page view data from Google Analytics. Please give me 5 different and varied tasks that you can perform with this data. So that's the that's one of the secrets that most people aren't doing is they just automatically say, hey, I want this type of graph or help me solve this type of coding with code interpreter. So you can obviously do that, but a great thing to do first is to just upload your data and ask. Again, as always, I will put this out there. You shouldn't ever upload sensitive or confidential data that maybe your company or you don't want out there. So, OpenAI does use all of this data to train its models. So, always keep that in mind. Again, right here, I'm just working with publicly available data. So, always think about that before you upload anything. So, at any time, you can always click the show work. So at least in my experience so far, usually it kind of takes one or two goes. I don't know if that's just because it's kind of a new release, or if maybe the system is overloaded because so many people are using this new code interpreter. So right here, it already gave me some ideas of what it can do based on the data. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, please visualize the data for one of the things. I'm going to say for popular pages, right? Pretty simple. Oh, we'll see. I mean, there's obviously doing this live. I just want to show you how easy it is. There's obviously better examples that we can do with the code interpreter. It is especially for data visualization, analyzing data quickly. People are kind of calling this a consultant in your pocket, which I'd say is true. So again, I kind of mentioned this. You'll see. I think it's just because it's early on. We are getting a lot of errors. So we'll try it again. I don't know if this is going to work in 5 minutes, just because, like I said, it is new. So we'll give it a second here. As we wait, just as a reminder, if you're finding this helpful, let me know in the comments. But also, go to youreverydayai.com. We do a free daily newsletter. A lot of people charge for that, which is wild. We also bring on guests every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, so you can ask them questions, learn from them, and we put that out on the podcast as well. So Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen, we're probably there. So let's jump back in to the code interpreter and kind of see what's going on. So you can see here, it looks like there was an error due to column name page views not being found in the data frame. So again, this AI in 5 wasn't to necessarily show you the power of Code Interpreter because there's plenty of tutorials out there. This was ultimately just a different approach to help you, which we saw up here. This is what this was really about, is to upload the data and ask a question to say, hey, please give me 5 different ways or 10 different ways, specific ways that you can help and visualize this data. I just took a random spreadsheet. It wasn't formatted. It wasn't cleaned. I just also wanted to see, how ChatGPT, the code interpreter, would handle this data as well. So it's still going. I'm sure eventually it would spit something out. But again, this was just to show you kind of a new or a different way to use code interpreter, because you might think you know the best way to analyze data or to visualize it, but it always is worth asking. So with that, thank you for tuning in to the AI in 5. That's the reality, is sometimes things don't always work live, and that's okay. But like I said, the point of this was to show you a little bit about code interpreter in a new way to get a little more out of it. So I'm sure we'll share some more working examples in the future. But thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you back for another AI in 5.